Welcome to Warden Law in Sunderland for the final round of the 2021 Ultimate Karting Championship. With ongoing improvements being made by the new owners since 2019, this has rapidly become one of the premier karting facilities in the UK for both owner, driver and corporate karting events alike. And when you take a quick look around the site, well, it's easy to see why. Honda Cadet is our first race coming up in this programme, but before we bring you that and continuing with our theme of chatting to drivers about the importance of social media, I caught up with one young man who's working hard to become a media star, and it's going rather well for him. He already has over 60,000 followers on his TikTok account. Meet Aris Majauskis.
My name is Aris Majauskis and I race for the Argenti Motorsport team in Minimax, and my number is 13.
People who follow you would normally see you in a Honda Cadet car. Tell us how you're getting on with that Minimax engine.
The Minimax engine is different to the Honda engine because it's got a lot more power and a lot more bottom, and also it does have a lot more grip.
60,000 followers on TikTok, over 3,500 followers on Instagram. Tell us about your rise to fame on social media.
Social media is really important because if you're good enough, you could get sponsorships and you could get noticed by the teams or driving programs, and plus you need to raise funds if I want to carry on with my racing career. Well, my mum is the camera person and we were scrolling through TikTok, so we hopped onto a trend and we tried something new. In the future in motorsport, I'd like to get to F1, but if that career doesn't go, then I'd be interested in drift cars. The key to doing well Warden this weekend is you need to have gone around Warden quite a few times so that you could get the corners right and know where the overtaking spots are, because Warden's a really technical track and it's got loads of corners. Aris, best of luck this weekend and thanks for talking to us. Thank you. Well, best of luck to Aris for this weekend, stepping up to Minimax after a successful season in Honda Cadet. Looking at the UKC Honda Cadet Championship, well, it's still very much up for grabs, with two drivers in firm contention and plenty of others still looking to race hard this weekend to round out a great season for them. Let's go straight over then to Jake Sanson for the grid positions and the race highlights.
Well, there's drama already in Honda Cadet. That's Finley Smith. He was due to go off P11 and he is not going to make it back round to the starting grid. That's a disaster for him. So Leon Hasty and Rocco Shenton on the front row of the grid, Cole Denham and Alex Reed, then Gregor Reed, Jacob Giblett, Leon row 3 from Friend, Bell, Wolfit and Laughlin Johnston to round out the top 10. No Finley Smith in P11. Ryan White will be alone on row 6. Watch out for Lucas Blanford and Alex Kodjakov. Row 8 will see Evie Davidson alongside Ashley Haase. Now, the Honda Cadet UKC title 2021 is going to be fought between two men, Leon Hasty and Cole Denham. Whoever beats the other is going to be champion. We are on board with Alexander Reed as we get underway. Good start on the inside from Leon Hasty, but Rocco Shenton's got a better launch. Is Shenton going to lead into turn 1, or can Hasty get him back on the way through? Yes, he can. So Leon Hasty retakes the lead. He lost it briefly, but has managed to get himself back into first position. Cole Denham has made light work of Alexander Reed off the start. Here he is into third position. Good move.
That means effectively at the moment, as things stand, Cole Denham, who needs to beat Leon Hasty, on track to win the championship. He's on 238 points in third place currently. Leon Hasty has got 245 as things stand while he is leading the race. That's the confirmation that he is the championship leader. As Denham looks up the inside for a second, can he get it done into the chicane?
Oh, he can't quite get past Rocco Shenton. He really is trying his hardest though, as we watch Evie Davidson on the warpath and behind Alexander Kodjakov. So Rocco Shenton still there in second place, just twitchy in these very slippery conditions. And this is the difficulty on the first lap of a race like this. It's not fully dry, it's not fully wet. They have to go wet tyres. There's no option. You're never going to get any grip on slick tyres with this, but there's not going to be a massive amount of water going into those treads. So the drivers are going to have to be very careful in these opening couple of laps now. And there's a good run from Denham. He almost had a run there on Rocco Shenton. He's going to try and get his move through onto the inside line. For some reason, Rocco Shenton isn't coming up on the timing screens, but he is there in second position, unmistakably, and through the inside. Lovely move there from Lucas Blandford as he makes a stormer into the opening corner. And now you can see Cole Denham all over the back of Rocco Shenton. We can barely see what we're doing here on the camera lens. You can see just how much water there is being thrown up. It's not torrential, but it's definitely very tricky. As on the inside, is that going to be the move for second? It is! Can he shut him down on the exit? That's going to be the tricky notion, because in the wet line, you really struggle for traction. But yes, he's got him. Through into second place now goes Leon Hasty. In second goes Cole Denham. Hasty's the man still leading. Denham into second, 5 points back from Hasty.
And Denham now has to hunt down Hasty, but look at the lead he's got already. So Hasty out front now has, 245, still got 245. Cole Denham now on 240, but he's got to beat the 80 kart of Hasty. There he is, going through the picture, or the championship is going Hasty's way. You can see the conditions. They're awful conditions pretty much. As you go down the straight here, this is what the drivers are looking at. The sun at this time of year very low in the horizon, so difficult to see. That's why they all have tinted visors on, of course. But you can see the sun is out, but it's not drying the track very quickly, Jake.
No, indeed. This is the worst nightmare condition scenario for a race driver. It's not dry, it's not wet, and you're desperately trying to go for grip, as Rocco Shenton is still all over the back of Cole Denham. Watch the drivers coming through. That is the battle with Alexander Reed and Ellis Bell. So Ellis Bell trying to make the move on the inside. Charlie Wolfett going for a big move up the inside. 2 in 1, but he runs wide on the exit, and that's going to be Ellis Bell getting back through unless Wolfett can shut down the inside, which he does. Big move from Charlie Wolfett. Take a bow. That was extraordinary. 1 lap further on, we're seeing this brilliant battle for third position. Rocco Shenton, for some reason, he's not coming up on the timing screen we've got in front of us. Sorry you don't have one. There's some kind of technical difficulty. We'll try and keep up with the racing as it continues, though. Here's Alex Reed. On board with him once again, our 360-degree on-board cameraman. That's Albert Friend in front of us, and he's chasing down the Shenton-Wolfett-Bell battle. And a big tag slapper from Shenton. Goodness me, that was a big power slide. He hangs on to it for dear life. Wolfett almost had him. Albert Friend was trying to sneak through as well, but that was absolutely monstrous from Rocco Shenton. What a catch that was.
It certainly was. He was lucky to hold on to that. And Charlie Wolfett was trying to take advantage, but unfortunately just unable to do so. The rest of the drivers stream through. The left-hander at St John's. This is the left-hander at Senna 1, and then into the right-hander here, Senna 2.
Back chicane is going to be the next big challenge, but you can see that the track is starting to improve a little. Very difficult to hold on to. And this is a great battle, isn't it? You've got Shenton in front of Friend. Wolfett's down in 5th position now. Here comes Lucas Blandford in 6th position, trying to chase them down as well. And up the inside, lovely move from Charlie Wolfett. He gets back through on Albert Friend. Friend is not giving up. He's still there in 5th position. Now he's trying to squirt through on the inside line, hoping for a manoeuvre. Nearly 3 wide in the apex of the left-hander as they came through the horseshoe. And now they come onto Paddock Bend, onto the home straight once again. This is going to be so difficult for Rocco Shenton to hang on to. He's got so many drivers pushing in now. In fact, he has lost out to 3rd place now. Wolfett's got through briefly. Shenton back alongside, but through comes Rocco Shenton, and Albert Friend gets in there as well. Watch for Lucas Blandford. He's going to try and make the move. Leon Hasty continuing to extend his lead over Cole Denham, looking safe for the title with another fastest lap. But Rocco Shenton is hanging on to 3rd position for dear life as here comes Albert Friend on the inside. He gets 3rd place now, trying to hold on to the position. Rocco Shenton, he doesn't want to lose ground, and Albert Friend's drifted off. Albert Friend drifts off the road. What a disaster.
I think he's got a problem, Jake, because he's not kept going.
Yeah.
He's stopped, so he must have had some sort of mechanical issue.
Well, he could easily have ended his 2021 season on the podium there. You've got to feel sorry for Albert Friend. There he is. He's absolutely devastated, and he's got every reason to be. What a shame. He could easily have been a podium. It's robbed away from him in the closing stages. Leon Hasty, though, is going to take the victory here at Warden Law. Fantastic run. He'll be there ahead of Cole Denham and Charlie Wolfett, who will be in third position. The battle is still raging for fourth position. Big dive on the inside. Blanford's going to sweep in from sixth position to fourth on the final turn. What a move from Lucas Blanford. He beats Rocco Shenton over the line. What a stormer in the last lap. Jacob Giblett-Lee is there in sixth position in front of Ellis Bell. Alex Reid, our cameraman, in eighth place in front of Ewan House and Gregor Reid. But once Leon Hasty got into the lead, it was never in doubt. The SFR Motorsport driver becomes Ultimate Karting Championship Honda Cadet Champion 2021. What a way to bow out of this epic season.
Well, huge congratulations to Leon Hasty there with what was a commanding victory in the end. And huge thanks to all those other Honda Cadet drivers giving us all excitement here trackside. There were so many battles in the midfield and they were all learning their trade on what is very testing conditions out there on a wet but drying circuit here at Warden Law. So well done to all of those Honda Cadet drivers. But here's what Leon had to say at the podium.
Championship winner, and you win the final race of the season. Always good. Just talk us through your weekend this weekend.
Well, it was eventful. It's the rain, so I'm always quite good in the wet. So it was just quite not too difficult, but it was fun.
And you're part of SFR Motorsport, so it's great for them. Who do you want to thank specifically for your season?
I want to thank my dad for mechanicking most of the season, Nathan Rawlings for SFR, and Luke Hines for the data.
Okay, well done. Congratulations.
Thanks.
We didn't see an awful lot of him in this Warden Law final round. That's because he went away and disappeared. 5 points clear of Cole Denham at the end of the season. Lucas Blanford is the other man on the championship podium. Well done to Albert Friend, Alex Reid and Lachlan Johnstone this year. They've given us plenty of entertainment. But Leon Hasty is our first UKC champion of 2021.
Well, a great end to the season for the Honda Cadets. Join us after the break when it's the turn of the Sodikart Academy Micromax. Welcome back to the final round of the 2021 Nitro Lord Ultimate Karting Championship from here at Warden Law in Sunderland. The Sodikart Academy has seen over 25 young drivers taking part this year, although sadly not all at the same time. But this weekend, we're pleased to say that we've got 12 youngsters lining up on the grid. So let's go and see how they've all qualified and take a look at the race highlights with your commentator, Jake Sansom.
It'll be James Roberts on pole from Dan Minto, then Rory Armstrong and Charlie Kelso. Charlotte Stanley will be P5 beside Jack Freeman, then Bethany Freeman will be alongside Jacob Rump, then Lewis Smith, Alex Jones, Jensen Brown and Jake Grufferty. Here we go, up to the first corner. Good start from James Roberts, trying to hold on to the lead as they go in through turn one. So little grip to be found, but the wet line, the karting line, round the outside is the saving grace. On board with Jacob Rump, getting his way down into the inside line for the hairpin, and I think he's made the place there on Jack Freeman. No problem at all as he gets the overtake. He's got another driver or two to duel with on this opening lap. These sort of conditions really help the prepared, but Dan Minto has got the start he wanted. James Roberts is still there in P2, but it's an absolute textbook launch from Dan Minto as he now leads the way as they go out of St John's up towards centre 1 and 2 and up towards the back chicane. This is absolutely perfect. Jacob Rudd back on the inside line, getting another place made up as he really is making full advantage of this strong opening lap. And now he's got Charlie Kelso in front of him. Can he make another move?
Good start for the young man we like to call our TDI media mascot. He spends so much time with the crew. Up the inside, another place made up. Jacob is on fire today.
Oh, how about that for a switchback from Kelso? He dropped 2 places but made 1 back as he came back on the power. And this is such an important skill to get right as well. You cannot afford to panic if you lose a couple of places in the wet, because you can get back on the power a fraction of a second ahead of your opponents and make up some of that deficit. So really well reacted there. Oh, a spin in the background. Didn't quite see who that was, but that just shows you how tricky the conditions are as Charlie Kelso has had to fight his way back into position. I think we had a spin there from Jones. I'll have to double check it later, but Rory Armstrong is the champion-elect. If he just keeps this together in the top 3, he would dearly love to bow out with a win, but staying in the top 3 positions will be more than enough for the young man from Northern Ireland.
Jacob Rump we're on board with here. This is his best performance of the season so far. In 4th place, the wet conditions suit him, Jake, because he is something like 10 kilos overweight, so he really struggles. He loves karting, but he really struggles to compete in the dry conditions. Today in the wet, of course, weight can actually help you.
Absolutely, but the thing is, all he's going to do is grow a few inches over the winter. Oh, he's going to lose it!
Oh, 360!
What a save that was!
Dancing on ice!
Absolutely, that was like something out of Tokyo Drift, Fast and the Furious, amazing. He caught that beautifully, and he's only lost one position.
I think Jake did that deliberately, to be honest.
Oh.
Knows he's got the camera on. Let's get
Oh,
a bit of drama.
and another drift off the road there.
Charlie Kelso running wide, I think, Jake, that is.
Oh, so easy to do. The trouble is, all you catch is just an inch or two off the normal line. You catch a wet patch and it spits you out. Now, this is a replay. This is Alex Jones and Jensen Brown. Jones is going to swap ends. Jensen Brown is literally going to have nowhere to go.
Jensen Brown lucky not to be collected. He's on the concrete, but that's okay. As long as he doesn't go on the grass, he'll be okay. He's carried on. Alex Jones, the least experienced of all the drivers here today.
Side by side, Jacob Rump on Charlotte Stanley, and he's through and taps the helmet. Come on, Charlotte, let's get after the guys in front. Nice little manoeuvre. We continue on a little further into the race, and now we're going to get the move on Alex Jones to put a lap on him, I think, on the inside line. Nicely handled, trying not to trip over the other drivers, and going through the traffic's a very important part of this learning process as well. It doesn't happen too much. There's a spin from Jensen Brown. This time he does get caught out, but he manages to recover nice and quickly. Very easy to drop it. The battle for the lead, however, is still getting very intense as James Roberts has caught back up to Dan Minto. And with Rory Armstrong safe in third position, he doesn't need to get into anybody's difficulties here. So Dan Minto and James Roberts, going into the last lap of the season, can battle away in fantastic fashion. Who's going to get this, Minto or Roberts?
Dan Minto had a comfortable lead earlier in the race. We've not seen much of these two because they were so far clear. But look at this, Roberts now right on him and past him.
Absolutely brilliant. He squeezes Dan Minto. James Roberts making the opportunity come to him, and the young man from Liverpool has absolutely squirted the car on the inside line. Perfect blend of the throttle. Gets the application on the steering right. Drifts a little bit wide on the exit, but that's fine in the wet conditions. You take a wider line in the tricky conditions, and now Roberts is trying to hang on again from Minto as they get side by side, running out of corners to do anything about this now. Dan Minto trying to get back into the lead on James Roberts through the back chicane as they squirt through the right. They're going to be side by side. They bang wheels. Onto the inside comes Minto. Sliding through the hairpin. Roberts is going to have the faster trajectory out of the course and runs right round the outside, gets back into the horseshoe, into the lead. Here comes Minto, back on the inside again, retakes it. Roberts is going to have one final go round the outside of the hairpin. He'll switch back on acceleration. Can he get there before the line? It's going to be tight. It's going to be close. Who's got it? Oh my goodness, Minto and Roberts almost at a dead heat of the line. Now who is going to get it? It's Minto by 0.052. Absolutely incredible. Minto saves his bacon to the last. Rory Armstrong claims the championship in third position almost as an afterthought. Great racing from Jacob Rump, Charlotte Stanley and Charlie Kelso. The Freemans, Jack and Bethany, Jensen Brown and Jake Gruffity in the top 10. But what a brilliant win for Dan Minto.
I was in the lead for the most of the race, and then it went off, and then he caught me, and then he passed me, and then I got him back, and then it finished like that.
Yeah, it was an amazing end to the lap, wasn't it? How do you feel? You must feel fantastic.
I feel brilliant.
Yeah, you should do too. Who do you want to thank?
Hunter Motorsport and everyone that's helped us.
Okay, well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, Dan Minto and James Roberts gave us the entertainment in the season finale, but Rory Armstrong is the champion by 18 points ahead of Roberts. Jack Freeman in a brilliant third place. Zane Quaker and Jacob Rump in the top 5. Bo Rocky Mulvaney doing a great job in 2021 as well. Now, the guest class this weekend here at Warden Law is Minimax. Problems off the grid for Finley Buck, who was due to start P11 regardless. Now he's going to have to try and catch the field as quickly as possible at the start of racing. On the front row of the grid, it's Ethan Head and Finn McElwraith, then Jack Thompson and Jay Smith, Aris Mayauskas and Alexander Zingarevich, then Devon Nolan and Alexander Duffy. Watch for Freddie Housley. He's way down the order compared to how fast he's been over the weekend. P9 for him, so he'll be making places. Here we go, up to the first corner. And it's going to be an interesting one as Ethan Head comes through. Aris Mayauskas is trying to get into the lead. As he tucks through on the inside line, he's up to second place already. And a spin! Oh, and they've all gone right. Goodness me, 2 carts dropping it. That's Devon Nolan going off the road, and so too did Jay Smith. So unfortunate as Aris Mijauskis was up to second place and then spun the Argenti Motorsport car. He will be on the fight back. I tell you who is on the fight back already is Freddie Housley. He's going through the field like a jackrabbit.
He certainly is. Finley Buck doesn't look like he made the start of the race, so he's well behind. But yeah, Aris Mijauski is very lucky not to collect the other karts there, Jake. They took to the grass, and in fact, it looks like they've actually helped them. They did sort of make up places potentially across the grass, but I think the clerk of the course will take a lenient view on that one, bearing in mind the conditions and the circumstances.
So Freddie Housley already up into fourth position, is up the inside. That's a big lunge from Finn McElraith, who's obviously lost ground off the start. But Freddie Housley had mechanical problems before the start of this race, so now he is charging his way back through, and in one lap he's gone from 9th to 4th. That is absolutely powerhouse stuff from Housley. Now he's got McElraith back on the inside. A little further into the race and we can see that Aris Mijauskis has started to fight back. That's Alex Duffy on the red speed chassis behind us. And as we battle for the lead up front, it's Jay Smith who has worked his way through ahead of Ethan Head. Now, Jay Smith actually went off the road on the first lap, didn't he? So he's been very fortunate that it hasn't affected him too severely.
Yeah, I would say actually probably helped him, arguably, because when he came back on the track, I think he was sitting in second at the time and leading now. He is the new race leader, the privateer. That is the 48 we're looking at, Ethan Head.
And Devon Nolan's got away with a couple of moments as well. He's up in third position ahead of McElraith and Housley, who are battling away. Aris Mijauskis in P6 from Duffy, Zingarevich, Elliot Powell and Finley Buck, who is there in P10. Now here's Freddie Housley for the Sam Pollock Racing Team. What a terrific end to the season. He's having, and a big slide behind him. Goodness me, Aris Mijauskis trying to make his bid on Finn McElraith, and McElraith not giving him plenty of room to go for it. So Aris Mijauskis is having to work for it side by side. Mijauskis trying to get the dive on the inside line. And a little bit of a hold up there for McElraith because he was trying to get past Housley on the inside line. Jack Thompson, I'm afraid, there he is out of the race on the home stretch. So that is a disaster for the Hunter Motorsport driver. His season comes to a difficult end. Here's Mijauskis. Now he's going to get his run on the inside of McElraith. Can he get through? Beautiful, textbook. Not easy to get that move done on the exit in these slippery conditions, but that's Mijauskis up in a P5 ahead of McElraith and Alex Duffy on the red speed.
The rain was pouring earlier on, Jake. You may have seen some of the earlier images as we look at the battle for fourth. It's another place made up.
Yeah, that's Duffy up to P6, so Duffy making the move there, and that's got him past once more, so McElraith is going to have to work very hard to get himself back. What a difficult race final this is turning out to be for him on the front row at the start, don't forget.
You start to see a bit of a dry line, sort of seeming like it's developing. I was saying before, heavy rain earlier in the day. I mean, the meeting was in danger of being cancelled completely. It was coming down. You see now we've got sunshine. Now, it doesn't necessarily help the drivers as the sun glints off the wet track.
That was a big check off the curbs there for Freddie Housley as the back end drifts around and Aris Mijauskis is going to get a run on the inside line. Wheel to wheel, Housley defending valiantly, trying to hold the kart round the outside, but Mijauskis is going to have the inside line and the place. Housley's not given up though. He's still there round the outside. Brilliant bravery from Housley. He's going to drop back initially now because there goes Duffy on the red speed. He goes through up into 5th position as well. You've just got to think, how far ahead of the rest of the field could Freddie Housley have been if he'd actually started this race towards the front end of the field, because he's been rapid all weekend and he is still battling in frenetic style. Back on board with Mijauskis on the inside. He gets back through, this time on Devon Nolan, so he's now in the top 3. A great fight back from Aris Mijauskis. He really has got himself back into contention. Jay Smith in the lead, Ethan Head in second. This is the last lap. So it's pretty much done and dusted for Jay Smith as long as he just keeps it together, just holding on in this final lap. Very easy to get complacent when you think you know where the grip is, and then all of a sudden the kart drifts away. But a 107.48 indicative that Jay Smith is definitely in a good rhythm. He's not going to lose this now if he can help it. Out of the back chicane, onto the back straight, which ironically isn't that straight because it's a long curvature. But this has been an absolutely exemplary drive from Jay Smith. He has held on valiantly all the way through this race, kept himself nice and neatly in front of Ethan Head, not pushed too hard, got himself some space, and he will now come into Paddock Bend A brilliant guest appearance from Minimax in this season finale. Hopefully we'll see more from them in 2022. Jay Smith, though, is the man who is victorious in front of Ethan Head. And in third position behind them, what a comeback drive from Aros Majauskis, the wrong way in turn one. And now here he is in third position, coming through ahead of Devon Nolan. And what a comeback from Freddie Housley as well. Excellent stuff. He was given a post-race penalty, unfortunately. That drops him behind Finn McElraith. But Housley, a great fight back nonetheless. Alexander Duffy in P7 from Finley Barker recovers to 8th. Elliot Powell and Alexander Zingarevich rounding out the top 10. But a great guest appearance for Minimax. Hopefully there's more from them next year.
Well, congratulations to all those Minimax drivers there, offering us up the excitement for the first time this season in the UKC. In the finish, though, it was a pretty cruisy victory for Jay Smith, who clocked up fastest lap after fastest lap. Well done to him, though. Let's go and see what he had to say at the podium.
What are you normally doing? Obviously UKC, a bit of a national championship, guest class this weekend, but what do we normally see you in?
I normally do the IKR rounds here in Rowra.
Okay, and who do you want to thank for your weekend?
My dad, HRS, Nigel, and my family for the support.
Okay, congratulations.
Thanks.
Well, join us in part 3 when we are back with more racing from Warden Law. It's the Junior Rotax class. Don't go away.
Welcome back to Warden Law in Sunderland for the final round of the Nitro Lord Ultimate Karting Championship. Junior Rotax this season has been dominated by one man throughout, and that is Daniel Ginchard. He's already been crowned the 2021 champion with an unassailable points tally ahead of this weekend. And it seems his successes on the track haven't gone unnoticed, because this weekend he's not here, choosing instead to spend some time in the Formula 4 simulator, hoping to impress his team Argenti Motorsport before potentially driving for them in that championship next year. So best of luck to him. It leaves the door open, however, then for all of the rest of the young Junior Rotax drivers to see how far up the championship table they can push themselves. So let's go and see how they've all qualified and take a look at the race highlights with your commentator, Jake Sansom.
Steve Duncan and Gabe Fairbrother on the front row of the grid, then Aaron Mackay and Nathan Smith. Dylan Mackay and Gustav Uzakov, then Reese Bailey and Harry Pullen from Ewan Sharman and Lexi Belk. Freddie Lloyd will be there alongside Rocco Baker with Connor Leishman and Lucas Jex. Plenty of talent in this Junior Rotax field to finish off the season in fine style. Watch out for Sophie Kinghorn. Problems in the earlier heats mean that she is down in the lower rankings, but she will not stay there long. On board with Charmander as we go racing here at Warden Law. Oh, and Lexi Belk's gone airborne, sandwiched in between Freddie Lloyd and Connor Leishman. Couple of carts going off the road there.
Lexi Belk, very lucky, Jake, to keep going in all of that, but looks like she's still running.
Yeah, she landed on 4 wheels. I don't know if she'll have had any damage to the front fairing. It might have come loose, so that's a very precarious position for her to be in on the opening lap. Meanwhile, Gabe Fairbrother getting the perfect start as he uses the outside line to good effect on the start of the race, but he runs wide, and that's enough for Stephen Duncan to pick up the pieces.
Went into centre one, far too narrow. He was on the part of the track where the rubber is. That's the most slippery part of the track on the inside. That ran him wide on the exit and has allowed Stephen Duncan back through to the lead.
Yeah, that's the problem. Unfortunately, in these greasy conditions, you use what is known traditionally as the karting line, which is the outside of the circuit, rather than the inside apex. Nathan Smith has been able to get a good start and has come through into third position. We've got yellow lights on the way through to the horseshoe. That must be because we've still got carts all over the road on the main straight after several carts took to the far part of the circuit, so they've got to be very careful about when they make the overtake. Big chuck in and massive lock on the steering as they go through turn one. Up in fourth place, that's Aaron Mackay, giving a bit of hustle to Nathan Smith. Then it's the Charmander himself. Fifth position, Ewan Sharman, Rocco Baker, Reese Bailey, Reese Duthie, Harry Pullen and Lexi Belk still in the top 10, would you believe, after going skyward. That's absolutely incredible. And now that's Mackay getting his run into third position, I think, round the outside of Nathan Smith. As they continue to duel away for position, Smith has just about held on to it for the moment, but Mackay is definitely looking very hungry as the field squirts their way through on these opening few laps. Oh, a bit of a little tussle there as up the inside. That is Jay Kennedy and Andrew Hughes, and the 17 in there, that's Alex Duncan. So some good battles throughout. Here's Charman on the inside line and gets the place on Aaron Mackay, but Mackay is going to come straight back at him. These two will continue their duel. But Charman has been working very hard to get himself back into fourth position. In P6 was Reese Duthie. Lexi Belk still doing a good job in front of Freddie Lloyd. He was another of the drivers caught up in that first lap incident. There's several karts in trouble already in the start. We had Connor Leishman, Dylan McKay, Lucas Jex, Finn Smith and Gustav Uzakov all involved in that first lap incident. So some big problems there for them as they've all ended up falling down the order. And now we're watching the 54, or at least we were watching the 54. Dylan McKay trying to get himself back up the order after a difficult start. Our drone pictures once again picking up the drama. Battle for 13th place. A lot of races in this little gaggle. You've got Hughes, Kennedy, Ardolino, James Robertson is in the mix, then Shane Collins and Sophie Kinghorn, who is working her way through the pack. It's been a crazy race so far. There's a whole list of racers that are not circulating that certainly should be. Joe Garraway, Isaac O'Shea, Carl Cruikshanks and Logan Carson all failed to take the start. Finn Smith, Lucas Jackson, Gustav Ozakov were thrown off the track in that first corner melee. Connor Leishman, I think he completed the first lap but has had to pull off subsequently. So a lot of drivers out of the action. Here's the battle for 13th. This is Hughes, Kennedy, Ardolino, Robertson, Shane Collins and Sophie Kinghorn. Alex Cull isn't far away from it either in the number 13. So a lot of drivers all having a great duel as Lexi Belk is trying to shake off the drivers behind her as well, because you've got Reese Bailey and Harry Pullen in her warpath. So they continue to battle away. Warden Law, great to be back in the prominence of British karting again. And what the boys here have been doing to get this circuit back up to full scratch is absolutely brilliant. It's really great to see what the Hunter family have done to this place. They've made it a top-class karting venue once again. Great to see the UKC field having a great spat.
Yeah, PF International in Lincolnshire, generally accepted as the greatest karting facility we have in the UK, but the Hunters here trying to make this the PF International of the North effectively. Great battling in the midfield, Jake.
Yeah, Shane Collins pulled off a nice couple of moves there as he battled away with Alex Cull. So some good running through the pack here, and it's going to be very interesting to see if Shane Collins can hang on to this. Late lunge up the inside there from the 37 to try and dive back through Reese Duthie. And on the last lap, we could see Stephen Duncan really enjoying his lead and not really under massive pressure. So some great performances from him over the course of this season. And with no Dan Ginchard to play with, he's allowed the opportunity to run away and hide. So a great run from Steve Duncan. Gabe Fairbrother managing to hold off Ewan Charman. Now that he's crept his way into third place, he has kept it. Smith, Duthie and Angus Scrivener doing a great job there in the top six. So some good fight backs through the field. Sophie Kinghorn's gone through more than half the field to return to 13th place. So a fair fight back from her in tricky conditions when overtaking is not easy here. So she's to be commended for that. And Lexi Belk is going to be in the top 10 despite having 3 wheels in the air and 1 on the deck on the run to the first corner. Excellent drives from those two, but Stephen Duncan will be out of the final turn and down the home straight in fabulous style. He takes the win in brilliant fashion and he celebrates accordingly. Look back and we'll see Gabe Fairbrother in second place. Great job. He's not happy, but second place will have to do. Third for Ewan Charman. Fourth place for Nathan Smith. He's gutted to miss out on the podium in the final race of the season. Reese Duthie and Agus Scrivener will come home in the top 6 as well. That looks like Aaron Mackay has managed to snatch 7th position on the last lap past Rocco Baker. So a great fight back there. But as you can see from the official results in a moment, post-race penalties galore after the melee on the opening lap. And it drops Ewan Charman out of 3rd position down to P5. So Nathan Smith inherits the roster and Reese Duthie in 4th ahead of Charman. Scrivener, Aaron Mackay and Rocco Baker. Andrew Hughes is 9th. Lexi Belk sadly loses 10th place with a front fairing penalty. Not surprising when she went airborne on the first lap. Jay Kennedy inherits that. But Stephen Duncan takes the win in the season finale.
Congratulations to Stephen Duncan there, taking the win, showing us that consistency in keeping your head when you get out in the front is what this game's all about. I have to say, watching trackside here, it's getting quite chilly. The track has remained quite wet, so hanging on to some of those corners was a real challenge for some of those drivers. Well done, though, in the Junior Road Tax. Stephen Duncan, your winner. Here's what he had to say at the podium.
Yeah, it was our conditions, you know, wet, and then Hunter got a great setup, and then we just managed to pull out the bag and get a great victory.
Who do you want to thank for your weekend?
My dad, everyone watching at home, Hunter Motorsport, Potenza Racing Engines, and everyone else.
Okay, congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
Well, Duncan may have taken the season finale, but the king of junior Rotax in UKC is still Dan Ginchard, and a great performance it was from him. Fairbrother and Duncan on the final podium. Gustav Uzakov, Sophie Kinghorn and Dylan Mackay finish up the top 6 in 2021.
Once again, junior Rotax delivering great action. Join us after the break for the final race in this programme, Senior Rotax. Welcome back to Warden Law in Sunderland for the final round of the 2021 Nitro Lord Ultimate Karting Championship, where next out on track is the turn of Senior Rotax. And the young man who's sitting in 7th place in the championship right now is Majek Kamara. And he's another young driver who's honing his skills both on and off the track. Already building quite a high-profile career as a motorsport journalist and commentator. And he's getting really rather good at it. I think I might have some competition.
My name is Majek Kamara. I have the number 12 on my kart and I race in Senior Rotax.
Majek, great to see you here this weekend. It's a wet weekend. How are you finding it out there?
Well, it's wet, as you say. I don't think I need wet, so I need oars out there, to be honest. But yeah, we've kind of just developing. We haven't had as much testing in the rain as we would have liked, so it's quite good to get out there and kind of progress with the setup and so forth. But I think we're getting there. We're getting there.
How much of a difference is it for someone like yourself as a privateer to the guys that are under the bigger awnings with the teams? I know you're with Chaos Sport now, but you've got experience of both.
The privateers are running at the front, you know, hats off to them because that takes serious skills. We know how difficult it is because we've been there. When you've got, you know, multiple mechanics around you, the data, all this stuff, you can quite easily get yourself from a problem situation to a competitive situation. But as a privateer, you can get lost so quickly. Sometimes you don't have anyone to turn to. With a team, it's a lot easier to be competitive. And then it's just up to the driver, really, if you can maximize using the team.
Outside of racing, you're building up some great skills with the social media. You're actually looking to build some journalism and motorsport commentator skills.
I write for Downforce Radio as well as the Virtual Racing Association on my blog. It's called On the Apex, which kind of just describes my racing stories and the adventures I have. And I try to work race commentary when I have the time, mostly running from the paddock to the comm box and then back getting my helmet to try and race. And I enjoy it, and that's what I really like about it.
Coming to the end of the year, what are you looking at doing next season? What's the future hold for Majek?
I've been to a couple of business meetings trying to get some sponsors around, still looking out for sponsors if you want to contact me. But that's just trying to get a program together. I'd like to do Europe as well as the UKC. This is a fantastic championship. I've really enjoyed it. Just luck hasn't really gone our way too far this season, but the speed has always been there, so I'm not really worried about that. But it's just, you know, that one step forwards, that not having 500s, but 200s difference, or being 200s in front of the guy in second. That's what we're aiming to do. So Europe for next year, if we can do it, and hopefully stay in this fantastic championship.
Do you see commentary and presenting and perhaps, you know, aspiring to be like Jake Sanson is a way that you could end up going?
Most commentators should look up to Jake Sanson. He does an absolutely incredible job. Definitely one of the best in the business, in my opinion. Not just in karting, but in motorsport in general. He's absolutely fantastic. I've definitely picked up some tips and, you know, some hints to help me. But yeah, also Jake's helped me a lot to get me into Downforce, and, you know, he kind of knew me from a couple of years ago when I did a bit of commentary for him, so he knows my value, or at least I hope so anyways, to bring me on board. And yeah, and he's been just a tremendous help, really.
Majek, best of luck for this weekend, and let's see how you get on.
Thank you.
Well, best of luck to Majek for the future. Back to the championship though, and looking at the top of the table, and it is all about the battle between Lewis Gilbert in second and Sean Butcher in first. Let's see if Sean can hold off Lewis in this, the final one in 2021. Here's Jake.
Sean Butcher versus James Lingard to the first corner. Sounds spicy to me. Kai Hunter and Stephen Napier, then Chrissy Miller and Dan Armstrong. Lewis Gilbert will be there with Tommy Edmonds, John Knox and Louis Harvey in the top 10. Watch out for James Lowther. Oliver Meadows will be there in the mix as well. Majek Kamara wanting to try and make some progress back after a difficult run in the first part of the heats. But here we go, up to the first corner, and already Sean Butcher, who has made the switch to a Sodi kart chassis for this latter stage of the season, is there in the first corner and up the inside. That's a move from John Knox as he gets a nice launch. We're on board with Louis Harvey on the Argenti car, with John Knox for Cannon on the Expert chassis right there in the mix as he tries to fight his way forward. They bounce over the curves up towards centre 1, up towards centre 2. This is where, on the first lap, you've got to stay in the hunt. You need to make sure you don't get spat out to the scenery Steve Brown in the middle of the mix there as well, as they all feed their way through, and there's an off, and there's a couple of drivers actually skating off the turn, and a spin in the middle of the road, another one as well out of centre 2. How tricky are these conditions on the opening lap?
Kart spinning all over the place, plenty of action in the 27 through to second place. That's Sean Butcher.
Yeah, Kai Hunter has managed to get the lead and has already started to disappear. Baker down on the inside of John Knox, and Steve Brown trying to get through on the inside of Oliver Meadows as well. It's absolute flotsam and jetsam at Warden Law.
Alex Baker, full metal jacket down the inside. He was taking no prisoners and losing it on the exit in the final turn.
Oh, it looks like Sean Butcher, who is about to seal the championship, is not going to worry too much about Kai Hunter up front. This is Hunter's back garden, literally. He can just disappear out in front and enjoy the run, but this is a tough battle. Chrissy Miller trying to get through on James Lingard, and then Lewis Gilbert, the Persistence Motorsport, 5th position as he runs in front of Dan Armstrong. Still having a great tussle. Harvey, Napier, Knox and Baker in the top 10, then Lowther, Steve Brown, Super GT himself, having a great end to the season. Oliver Meadows, Tristan Rennie, Thomas Wood, Oscar Hull and Magic Amera. Great racing so far on this opening tour. Brilliant stuff and a great tussle. Oh, and a spin there. I saw Oliver Meadows. I think Tristan Rennie just got a little bit too close and ended up giving him a love tap into a pirouette. So that's all gone horribly wrong. There's Stephen Napier trying to get through on the inside of Louis Harvey. Job done. Oh, and there was nearly an attempt from Alex Baker. Goodness me, he just about bailed out of that one in time.
Baker's on it, Jake. He's taking no prisoners today whatsoever. As we're on board here with Louis Harvey. Louis brought us some fantastic on-board pictures all season long.
Yeah, he's definitely been Mr. Entertainer, that is for sure. Now, we watch as they go through turn 1, and that's the 35 that's moved forward. Dan Armstrong on the Alonso kart chassis in front of the 19 of Stephen Napier. Watch for Lewis Gilbert. He's now tucked up right in behind James Lingard, and he is set to become the vice champion of 2021. Now he's going to make his move on the inside, but round the outside, James Lingard, the outgoing champion, is going to lose 1, 2, 3 places on the exit. Not great for James Lingard, but that just shows you if you go to battle with Lewis Gilbert, be prepared to come out second best, because Gilbert is absolutely large and in charge in that apex.
Yeah, he was just on the outside, hung out to dry and lost places as a consequence, trying to gain the place back. He ended up losing 3.
There's the move on the inside from Napier. He gets through on Armstrong. Lingard's going to sweep in on the inside and split the difference. Brilliant move, and now he's made up 1 place. He's going to try and go for the next one on Stephen Napier. Surely he won't get the run onto the hairpin on the inside line in the final turn.
We had somebody slowing in the horseshoe. Couldn't quite see who it was, but somebody out of the race there.
Yeah, problems. It looks like Les Taylor's already dropped out of the fray, so it could well be Les Taylor. Obviously, Scott Dunsmore, Fraser McFadden and Thomas Liauticus were not able to start the race, so problems for them before we even got going. A shame that they couldn't showcase what they can do. Now, big challenge for Lingard. Armstrong looking this way and that way, trying to find a way past. Can't make it happen. Louis Harvey is loving this because he's just reeling them in, eating up the road as they go through centre 1, into centre 2, up the inside goes Armstrong, cuts across on Lingard. That'll do, gets the place back that he originally lost, and now Louis Harvey's trying to get through on James Lingard. The man who won the 2020 UKC title is really struggling even to stay in the top 5 in this race at Warden Law. How hard do the mighty fall? James Lingard still fighting his way back though. He's not given up. On the inside again of Armstrong. Not just yet, but he's definitely thinking about it. Armstrong, Lingard, Harvey. Oh, Alex Baker exits stage left and then somehow recovers without losing a place. Good recovery. Still great battles all the way through the field. A little further on. My goodness! Big launch from Baker and he dives in on the inside of Harvey. Nudges him out of the way. That's the NASCAR move. And now he's taking on Oscar Hull. What a beautiful dive. Somebody should get Elon Musk on the blower. He's launching more than SpaceX.
Yeah, I used the term full metal jacket for him earlier because he's taking no prisoners whatsoever, and there's an example in those few turns.
That is a delicious bit of diving from Alex Baker. He's giving us plenty of grandstand stuff here as they tiptoe their way through the apexes in the mid-pack, just trying to get a little bit of traction. Steve Brown trying to close up on I think that's Louis Harvey that's lost a little bit of ground there thanks to Baker's sideways shenanigans. Now on the inside, Rennie goes for Hull, side by side. Little bit of room to play with, but not a lot thanks to Hull, and Hull now drifts off the road. He goes wide onto the grass, and that has dropped him all the way down. into the depths of the midfield behind Meadows. So what a shame. It was going so well. Now Super GT is going to take on Louis Harvey. Here he goes on the inside. Well, the work he's been doing for Quadrant, Lando Norris supporting him all the way. And Steve Brown now starting to make some big moves. His progress through 2021 has been absolutely superb, and there's the proof. He makes his launch on the inside of Louis Harvey, and now Machicamera's closing in as dropping it off the road goes John Knox, and he manages to get back into it. Here comes Machicamera. Now he's going to try and get the move on Louis Harvey. As we go on to the last lap, Kai Hunter is going to finish off on the podium in 2021, but this is his back garden. He's not going to make a single mistake.
We've not seen him the entire race, James.
No, indeed.
That's because he is so far clear. He's 4 seconds clear of Sean Butchett. Butchett's going to take the championship, but Hunter will take the race.
He's had the most boring race of the entire weekend out in front because he's just dominated. Excellent stuff. Kai Hunter, what a victory to bow out of the season. Sean Butcher, though, is the champion of 2021 in Senior Rotax. Chrissy Miller comes home in 3rd position. Look back and we will see Stephen Napier in 4th position ahead of Lewis Gilbert, who has deservedly come home as the vice champion. There he is, the 29, vice champion 2021. Great work from him ahead of Dan Armstrong and James Lingard. And here's the showman himself, Alex Baker, coming home in the top 10. Excellent racing from Alex Baker. He really has delivered so much drama in this final. Kai Hunter, your winner from Sean Butcher and Chrissy Miller. Napier, Gilbert and Armstrong. James Lingard in 7th ahead of Steve Brown after penalties. Alex Baker drops only to 10th, surprisingly, just a whisker behind John Knox. But Kai Hunter delivers on home soil and in his back garden. Who knows what he could give us in 2022?
We had strong pace in the wet, so going into that final was a little bit damp still, so I just had to bring out all the stops and do what I needed to do.
And who do you want to thank? You've had a couple of wins this year. It's been a pretty good season for you. Who do you want to thank?
DHR, Time Racing Engines, my mechanic Liam Wright, and mechanic this weekend JP, and everyone else has been involved.
We better get off before the wind blows it away.
Yeah, I think this tent's coming down as well.
Well done.
The wind almost as fast as Kai Hunter over the finish line. Sean Butcher ahead of Lewis Gilbert by 20 points in the championship standings. A further 10 ahead of Kai Hunter. Alex Eads, Louis Harvey and Tristan Rennie finish up 2021 in the top 6 in what's been a brilliant season. I can't wait to see what UKC gives us next year.
So sadly, that's all we have time for, but we have already crowned then 4 champions in the 2021 Ultimate Karting Championship. Good news is we still have 4 more to crown, and they'll be coming to you in the next programme that will feature the IAME classes. Until then, from all of us here at Warden Law, see ya.